Appliance, farm equipment, overseas property. Talk shows. Yeah, let's see. CBS. Let's see. Newly built, popular location. Must have game show experience? Nah, I don't think so. NBC, long-running, late-night talk show, strong foundation, excellent view of downtown Burbank, built-in sidekick, owner willing to sublet? Yeah, I don't think so. Syndicated talk show, urban neighborhood, must have own friends, spacious couch, desk not included? Nah, I don't think so. Hey, wait, what's this? USA Network, weekly late-night fixer-upper, perfect starter show, easy terms, will accommodate your budget, free food. Honey, I think I found the perfect show. It's a fixer-upper, but with a little work, I think I can...
Oh, not that crazy idea again. You know you're about as handy as a sloth.
Oh, she's right. But with a little help, I know I'll manage. What do you think, Molly?
Arf.
It's USA's Camp Midnite, starring Dick Wilson. Join Dick and his guests from Bewitched, Dick Sargent, comic Joe Nipote, actress Catherine Mary Stewart, celebrity photographers Brad Elterman and Stan Findell, palm reader Yvette Grady, and music from the Untouchables. Plus, the exciting conclusion of our Midnight Run sweepstakes. And as always, Scooter Beach in the band. And now here's our host, Dick Wilson.
Oh, yeah. Thanks for joining our show. See you next week. No, our audience tonight has come from the express aisle of the grocery store down the street here, so there are people holding their place in line. Good evening. Welcome to Camp Midnite. It's good to be here again on this nighttime show with you, and we've got a great show lined up. You heard in the opening credits there. We've got a lot of good people coming up and some other fun in store for you. And it's a very special night for me. But before I get into that, let me introduce again Scooter Peach and the band.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Wilson.
Scooter always gets me. They always write these cards out for what you and I should talk about, you know, while we're out here.
They do, and we have to rehearse it, too.
I mean, you know, Scooter and I are good friends. We don't need this kind of stuff. I've known you for, 12, 13 weeks now, I think, so get rid of that thing. We don't need that thing.
We'll talk about ourselves.
Let's just chat a minute.
Well...
Where's that card? We'll do that in a little while. All right, Scooter, thanks for being here, okay? Come on over this way a minute. You know, it is a very fun-filled night here on Camp Midnite, and it's even more special because this is the 13th episode of a 20-episode guaranteed run of Camp Midnite. And even though Hillary Schachter and all the gang at the USA Network up in the tall tower in New York seem to be happy with the show and do periodically talk about us at lunch, we feel that it is important that we go ahead and work out a few of the kinks tonight in the show and just make sure that we get that pickup by when the time comes. The way I thought of doing this was getting in touch with Bob Vila. Now, are you familiar with Bob Vila, This Old House, that thing? Yeah. You know, it's that PBS show where they take the old house and they renovate it and they put it all back together again. Well, I tried to get Bob to come on tonight, but Bob is busy. He's over in England where he's reinforcing the front room walls of Salman Rushdie's apartment over there. And so he's busy. However, I didn't know this. His agent mentioned this to me, but Bob has a brother, Tony Vila. And tonight we have Tony. Tony, whereas Bob is the host of This Old House, Tony is the host of This Old Host show that's on. It's not quite as popular, but I believe he's here tonight and available. Tony Vila, are you here? Tony. Glad you're here on the show, Tony.
Thank thank you. It's a pleasure to be here tonight. It's
Tony
a pleasure.
Vila from This Old Host. Now, Tony's going to be with us throughout the duration of the show to kind of fix things up wherever he sees fit and do some general fine-tuning for the Camp Midnite experience.
You bet. Let's do it. Let's do it.
Okay. I see you've got a list started already. Is there anything we need to cover right off the bat?
No, not really, not really. The foundation of the show looks sound with very little wear showing. Scooter, your substructure here was a worthwhile add-on, I'll tell you. It's wonderful. You know, the show reminds me a lot of the show, very first show I did in 1968 with Andy Rooney, starred Andy Rooney, and it was called You Know What I Hate? And it was about an hour of the guy saying, I hate this and I hate that. So.
You worked on that show. Well, what did you do with it?
Well, what I did is I threw some topical material into it and called it 60 Minutes.
I love that show. Yeah. Can you do the same thing for Camp Midnite?
You bet. Let's do it. Okay?
All right.
I'll tell you what. I got a few inspections to make. I'm just going to head on back here right now, and I'll get out of your way for you.
All right, there he goes. Tony Vila from This Old Host. Hey, time to order up some food right now on Camp Midnite. Let's get that food order underway. And
I'm sorry. Can we stop the show for just a second here?
Well, yeah, sure.
Yeah, I think, first of all, we might have some improvements you can make here. You know, the food order that you always do is kind of a throwaway bit. I thought maybe you could sort of enhance it by tacking on an addition, refurbishing it, maybe using more audience participation.
Well, I mean, that's a good, okay, you know, that's a good concept, but see, the problem we run up against is it just doesn't fit in the range of our budget to be able to do that. You see, anytime we use one of these fine people in an organized comedy bit, we have to pay them out the gazebo. Yeah.
Well, I tell you, I think it would be cost-effective by increasing your ratings.
Just sorry, Tony, I'm afraid we can't do a top-of-the-line comedy bit right here. We're going to have to settle for cheap material at this point.
Okay, okay. Well, I think that's okay. I mean, I just wouldn't want the show to suffer from cheap comedy bits. Wouldn't want to have it turn into a towering inferno.
Yeah, I understand. It's a good point. I'll pass that along to our producers Monday morning.
All right, all right.
Tony,
well,
good.
Looks as though everything's going along very smoothly down here. I'm just going to head on up to the control booth right now and talk to the director. Thanks
all
a
right,
lot,
Tony.
Thanks.
Tony Vila from This Old Host. You know, the nice thing I always like about this show is that we do feed our audience on this show because we're a tight-knit little family. And tonight we have a great place to call up. We're going to call up and get a little food here from some gang over on the boardwalk at Venice. Now, this place is called Jody Maroney's Sausage Kingdom. Good point, good point. And somewhere, do I have their number here? Yeah, let me see. I know I've got their number written down here. Let's just dial them up. Are they in the automatic punch, or do I need to dial them up? Oh, this world of the 1980s is so technologically wonderful, isn't it? We're calling Jody Maroney's, and we'll see what we can have them sent over here to Camp Midnite. This is, we write
Jody
this.
Maroney's?
Yes, it's evening. Jody Maroney's?
Yeah, hold on, Jody.
Sure, hi. Can you talk to me?
Hello?
Hi, who's this?
Hello?
Hi there, how are you?
Hold on, I gotta go to the other phone.
Okay, good. Well, he's going to the other phone. Tell you what, we're going to order up some sausage, a lot of different kinds of the great stuff they got there. I'll do it during the commercial, and we'll be back in just a moment on Camp Midnite, okay? Welcome back to Camp Midnite on the USA Network. Oh, that looks good. I think you about got that, huh?
Well, that ought to do the trick there, Dick, for you.
Boy,
It's going to work real well.
that works great. Let's just, yeah. Nice job, Tony Vila.
Fantastic. Okay, I'll tell you what. I'm going to wander on over and talk to Scooter and see if he can play any songs that we recognize, okay?
Oh, okay, good. Well, it's good to have Tony Vila here kind of touching things up for us. Oh, a quick reminder, folks, we've got our drawing for the Midnight Run sweepstakes coming up later in this show also. So stick around if you've sent us a card. If you haven't, stick around with someone who has. Right now, it's time for
Things that sound dirty, but aren't.
Isn't that great? Yeah. You see, I get so tired of saying that title all the time. Well, our things that sound dirty but aren't. Our first one comes from Los Angeles journalist Jerry Gittleson. And Jerry, who lives here in Lakertown, still sides with the Boston Celtics. And he reminds us that Larry Bird's hometown is French Lick, Indiana. There it is right there. Our very second...
Things that sound dirty, but aren't.
Love technology. Our next was sent in by Jim Bell of Allentown, Pennsylvania. You see, Jim, who is thinking of running for local political office, has stolen a line from Lincoln's Gettysburg Address. He's updated it, and he's calling it his own. And so Jim Bell hopes to become Allentown's next city councilman when he uses the slogan, "Every Homo erectus was created equal." Certainly is one of those things that sound dirty, but isn't. And then our very final...
Things that sound dirty, but things that sound dirty, but things that sound dirty, things that
Tony?
sound dirty,
Tony?
sound dirty, things that sound dirty,
Looks like you have a little circuit breaker problem there. I'll tell you what, maybe I should head on under the desk here and see if I can goose that circuit breaker.
Hey, thanks
Take a look
lot.
under
Okay.
here for you there, Dick.
All right.
All right.
Careful what's your Tony, hold it. Tony.
Yeah.
Tony, the bit is over now.
Great. Terrific. Well, I think that ought to do that for you there, Dick. Everything looks fantastic here on the floor level. I think I'm going to go on over and check out the men's room now.
Wait a minute. Are we remodeling the men's room?
No, I got to spring a leak. See ya.
Well, I'll tell you, folks, if you have things that sound dirty but really aren't, and you'd like to send them to us, do that, and you'll receive high school credit. Send it to Camp Midnite in care of Post Office Box 189, Hollywood, California, 978, or fax them to us at 818-843-FAXS, and we'll take good care of it. You know, when it comes to credit, our next guest has got a long list of them. He's instantly recognized as the second Darren Stevens on Bewitched, and he's yet another Dick in the Camp Midnite fold, Dick Sargent.
I'd like a recording of that to take
Would you?
home.
Wouldn't that be great? Great to have that play in your car when you're driving.
I have one, as a matter of fact.
Yeah. Dick Sargent, great to see you. How you doing?
I'm good, I think. I never know. I'm never sure. You know, you have to find out what's inedible today, like apples or grapes, and, you know.
You're not one of these crazy vegetarians that's out here in Los Angeles, are you?
No.
Good.
No.
A good meat-eating guy, like me from the Midwest.
Sure, yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Good. Let me talk about Bewitched just a minute. You know, we were chatting a little bit earlier about how long ago that show was on. When did you start that show working with?
I started in '69, I think, through '72. It's the last 3 years.
Yeah. And you, of course, were the second Darren Stevens that came on.
Yeah.
But you were involved even before that, right?
Well, I was up for it originally, which is a weird thing. It came full circle eventually. But by the time they got back to me, I was doing a show called Broadside at Universal with Kathy Nolan.
Well, what was the deal? You know, the one question I had about Bewitched all along was, why the heck didn't you want her to use magic?
Yeah, of course. I know it doesn't make any sense, but we wouldn't have had a show without it, you know, because that's the whole trick to that show, was that if she could do magic all the time, it would be a show about rich people who could afford to do anything they wanted. So that was the reason that it worked, really.
They're already doing that on Dynasty, I believe, aren't they? Probably so.
Yeah, maybe that's why it's not a success, I guess.
How about Tabitha? Where is she these days?
Last thing I heard, she got married a couple of years ago, which really makes me feel old. But I am, so that's okay.
Well, what have you been doing recently?
I've got 4 unreleased pictures. One I just saw the other night, which is very cute, called Teen Witch. Guess why I got that part? My daughter turns into a witch in it. I play Robert Young in that. I go around and say, "Kitten, how are you?" Nobody ever said kitten except Robert Young, right? And I've got one called $20 Star, another one called Going to Chicago, another one called Murder 1, Murder 2 with Sherry Belafonte. So
these are all coming out over the next year, I guess?
They better.
Oh, good golly. Well, you also had another series called Down to Earth that you did, what, for the Turner Network a while back?
Yes, for Procter & Gamble and the Turner. We've been off about 2 years, waiting for it to go into syndication. Why it hasn't, nobody seems to know, but it's buried somewhere.
Are you making the big bucks off Bewitched now? Or what?
No. Oh, that really hurts.
Something happened back then. Yeah,
it's true.
Nobody who did shows back then ever makes any money on
right.
those things
The
anymore.
last residual was, I think, 15 years ago, and it was about $13.75. So that's true. I always tell people that because everybody thinks actors are millionaires. Wrong.
You said $13.70? Our segment producers are drooling over that on this show. Yeah. All right, I want to talk of you. There's something else, and I know is a big interest of yours. I read a great article that you did about a trip to Uganda.
Yeah, I did an article for the LA Times. They gave me a full page in the Sunday calendar, which is a nice thing to have. I was there with Sally Struthers for the Christian Children's Fund. And I went to Uganda and almost got killed in a guerrilla raid. And it was terrifying. It really was. I was so dumb. They told me, I read in the paper that the government says, don't go there. And I said to the producers of the stuff, the government says, don't go there. They said, that's if you're going there for pleasure. We're going for business, so that's okay. And I still went. It made no sense at all.
The gorilla standing by the side of the show didn't ask you, business or pleasure?
Yes, right. We were that close to getting blown off the...
But you want to get into a little more writing and do that kind of stuff?
Yeah, I love travel articles, mainly because it lets me deduct the trip.
Yeah.
If you want cheap, I'll give you cheap. And I've been doing some short stories, and actually some script writing, which I haven't shown anybody, which makes it hard to sell. You know, there's a lot of the stuff stacked away in my closets, and you know, I'll get it out. I'll finish. I want to be not at the mercy of the telephone the rest of my life. Yeah. You know, waiting for agents to call.
Sure.
So.
Well, good luck on that. You know, you're going to do something here this weekend, right? You're heading out to Las Vegas.
No, to Reno, and Tahoe for the. I think it's the 4th International Winter Games of the Special Olympics, which is my pet charity, and I've been doing it for about 15 years. That's nice.
So look for Dick Sargent in that area this weekend. Now, Dick, the one thing I'd like for you to do, it's a very honorable situation you're in, because tonight we have, and Tony Vila brought these by to dress the show up, the official, can I get a tight shot of this? The official first ever Camp Midnite signature cup.
Boy.
Styrofoam cup.
That's class.
Yes. This is job security, Dick. I don't know if you know about this.
You're counting on that pickup, aren't you?
Would you? Yeah. Would you sign and bite this cup so that we may identify you by dental things later? Dick Sargent, folks, on Camp Midnite. Funny man Joe Nipote coming up in a moment. Camp Midnite on the USA Network. Remember that drawing for our Midnight Run sweepstakes coming up still on this show, so stay with us. You know, before I started doing Camp Midnite, myself, Dick Wilson, the host, thank you. Before I started doing Camp Midnite, the only way that anybody ever heard of old Dick Wilson was through my career as a radio disc jockey. That's right, the Dick man had a successful and lucrative career in the radio industry for a while. But now that we're on television coast to coast, a lot of people still ask me, Dick, do you still do the radio show? I guess they can't understand with the time constraints and that type of thing how we could pull off two different... Oh, gee, look at the time. Excuse me just a moment. There you go, American Pie by Mr. Don McLean. Don, you're long overdue for a new album, babe. Let's get it here. Here on the wall-to-wall sound show with Dick Wilson. How about MacArthur Park, Mr. Richard Harris. Oh, God. Oh. Anybody got a copy of Hey Jude on him? All right, I'm just going to... Well, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to hold on to your sides because we've got a guy coming out here, a funny guy who is a very funny actor and comedian. This guy not only just stepped off the curb, he was hit by the whole bus. Please say hello to Joe Nipote.
Okay, so how you guys doing? You guys in a good mood? You doing all right? No, cut it out, cut it out. I was watching ESPN with John McEnroe, the tennis player. The guy went crazy. He started swearing and complaining. He started swearing and complaining. And evidently Tatum says he's the same way at home because even in bed he's going, "Are you blind? Those balls are in!" So how is everybody? You guys in a good mood? Okay. You guys like impressions? Hey, great. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, here's a quick impression. Sylvester Stallone. Sylvester Stallone. Yo. Okay, now. Wait, I have more. Okay. Okay, you gotta watch real close. Ready? A giant match. Okay, no, wait, how about this? Carl Malden in the cold. Cut it out, cut it out. Oh, it's hard to drive like that. I almost didn't make it down here because I'm driving down here from Newport, and I guess I was rushing. I made it here in about 8 minutes. Well, because this cop was on my butt the entire way. He's flashing lights. He wouldn't pass. I hate that. So the cop comes over to the car, and he figures I'm drunk because I'm driving so fast. So he gets me out, and he says, walk the line, do this, do that. And I'm thinking, this is so stupid. See, I figure if a cop wants to know if we're intoxicated, what they should do for a test is every police officer should have with them in their car a really ugly woman. See, this way they get you out of the car face to face with a lady. Hey, buddy, what do you think about her? She's not bad, man. Okay, pal, you're coming with us. Cut it out, cut it out. Quit it. Don't you hate it when a cop pulls you over and you try to kiss butt to get out of the ticket? You're just pleading with the guy. You're just kissing his butt, and you know he's not going to let you go, but there's that one chance where he is going to let you go, and he's just ready to go. All right, son, just go ahead. Don't do it again. You got a drunk friend in the car next to you who goes, "Hey, suck my face, pig!" I hate that. At least the cops aren't as bad as in San Francisco. They're the worst there. Watch out if you go there. I got pulled over by 2 cops on 1 motorcycle there. Well, you're slow, but you're here, ladies and gentlemen. So, how many people have a dog? Yeah. You have a dog? You ever notice how stupid your dog can make you look when you're going to the bathroom? Especially a guy. Because you're standing there going to the bathroom, and your dog's cruising down the hallway on his way to the kitchen thinking to himself, like, kibbles and bits, kibbles and bits. And out of the corner of his eye, he catches you going to the bathroom. He's like... He walks into the bathroom. He's got this really angry look on his face. And if the dog could talk, you could actually hear him, like, want to say to you, "Hey! I drink out of there!" Cut it out. Well, I'm from Michigan, and I'm living there with my parents because they won't move. They're old enough, but they won't go. My dad says the funniest things, and he doesn't even realize. He's 75 years old, right from Italy. When I started growing this mustache, I went up to him and I asked him if I should start growing it. And when I talked to my dad, I talked to him in broken English because I figure he understands better. So I go, "Dad, do you think I should grow a mustache?" And my father turns to me and says, "Joe, with a nose like that, why underline it?" All right, it's not that funny. Shut up. These guys. I got to show you this. I just got back from Arkansas, and nobody lives there. Anybody here from Arkansas? See. And when you rent a room there, they give you these shower caps, you know, to make up for the room, like if there's no bed. These are great because, like, when you put them on, or at least when I do, they always remind you of someone when we were little. Like remember this lady? Remember this? This was the lunch lady who gave us our lunch. She always had a mole with 7 hairs growing out of it, mustache a little thicker than mine. And she'd say, "What do you want for lunch?" And you go, "Don't touch our food. Just back off, lady. Put a shirt on." Thanks a lot. You guys have been all right. Yeah.
right, Joe. There's a microphone for you. Grab that little thing there. Joe. Put that little thing on there, Joe.
This is a great bench here.
Is that comfortable?
Yeah.
You know, we can have somebody, you can sit on somebody if that's a little too uncomfortable for you.
I feel like I should be at the park and feeding the... Come here, you little... Come here. Here, have an apple. So how you been?
That's a great helium voice.
Thank you.
Yeah. You must have a lot of fun with that, huh?
You know, one of the greatest tricks I ever played, practical jokes, was I went into a McDonald's, and this girl came up to me about 16 years old, and she walks up and she goes, "Hi, can I help you?" And with a straight face, I look at her and I go, "Hello. I'd like a Big Mac with large fries, and give me a large Coke and ice, okay?" And the same girl went like, "Say what?" So now I pretended like I got mad, right? I go, "I want a Big Mac with large fries and a large Coke. No, I don't see any problem. Is there a problem in that?" She was so freaked out, she went and called her manager. And she brings her manager over in front of her manager, and she goes, "Watch this. Sir, would you please tell me one more time what you'd like to eat?" And I went, "I'd like a Big Mac with large fries and a large Coke." No ice. And I'll tell you something, the joke was on me because the manager turned to the girl and went, "What's the problem? I don't see a problem."
Oh, gee. You got to teach me how to do that sometime. Where are you playing here in the near future? Where can people see you?
Well, tonight I'll be at the Laugh Factory and doing Fraser Smith's KLSX show at 10 o'clock. And then August 5th through the 9th in Chicago at the Funny Bone. And also with Barbara Mandrell, I think April 20th at Harris in Atlantic City.
All right, Joe.
Got it.
Now, Joe, do this for me. Sign one of our styrofoam cups.
Oh, absolutely,
Put
Dick.
your dental impression on it.
No, I have to sign it?
Yeah, do that. There it is. Joe Nipote!
Okay.
We'll be back in a minute with Catherine Mary Stewart. Welcome back to Camp Midnite. Remember, coming up here a little later in the show, our drawing for a Midnight Run sweepstakes. If you sent a card in, be sure to stand by. We may be drawing your name out and giving you a trip to anywhere in the United States. My next guest on Camp Midnite is a lady who is not only a movie but a television actress. She, please say hello, if you would, right now to a woman who is not from the United States of America.
I'm sorry. Excuse me, Dick. Hi. Dick.
Folks, Tony Vila with the show This Old Host. Tony's here to kind of fix things up tonight. What's the problem with doing the intro there, Tony?
I'm sorry to interrupt you, Dick, but you know, I wanted to tell you something about the introduction. We have a saying in the construction business, a fireplace without a mantle is like a cheap carpet covering an oak floor.
That's great. But what does that mean?
Well, I mean, I think the introductions have to be flashier, you know? Use brass-plated screws instead of chrome.
Okay, let me try this. The shimmering lights of Hollywood dim when compared to the beauty of our next guest. Her talent is like a diamond, ready to be honed and shined and polished into the jewel that is her next role. What do you think, Tony?
You know, you hit the nail right on the head with that.
Okay, all right, good. Tony Vila, folks, help us out here on the show.
You bet. Let's do it. Hey.
Ladies and gentlemen, Catherine Mary Stewart. I just thought I'd let you be seated first, kind of the gentlemanly thing to do.
Thank you very much. I don't know if I can live up to that intro, though. There's some brass screw you got.
I fell in love with you. Now that is something that sounds dirty and is. Somewhere in the middle of the movie The Last Starfighters, I fell in love with you. I'm not sure what it was about it, but so is it comfortable enough that I may call you Kathy?
You may.
Thank you.
May I call you Richard?
I pay bills by that name.
Oh.
Yeah, well, okay, you're doing a movie now. You've worked on a movie.
Yes.
We need to talk about this. What is the name of this thing?
This is called Weekend at Bernie's. It's a very broad, very black comedy.
Yeah.
Very funny, with Andrew McCarthy and Jonathan Silverman.
Mm-hmm. And do we have a clip of that? Would you mind acting out a scene from that? No. I knew we didn't have a clip. I just wanted to do that.
God, I haven't seen anything yet. This is like the golden opportunity.
This movie has had a little trouble with names.
Yes, it's gone through several names. It started out to be Sitting Ducks, then transitioned into Heat Wave. Then while we were shooting it, it was called Weekend at Bernie's. Then they decided that was too weird, so they took a poll or something, and it became Hot and Cold, which I found sort of enlightening and told a lot about it.
Yeah, I'll tell you what.
It's gone back to Weekend at Bernie's.
What we're going to do, folks, we're going to have Kathy call you at home when the movie comes out, tell you what the name is, and you can check it out at the theater.
Each one of you individually.
All right, let's turn back the old memory clock now. The Days of Our Lives, you were on there.
Yes, I was.
When was
years
that?
ago.
What character did you play?
That was early 80s, back in the early 80s. I played Kayla Brady. Who, all right. I don't play her anymore.
No.
Thanks, God.
I heard
this is my family over here.
Yeah, they've come in from out of town. I heard a little story about when you were starting Days of Our Lives. You came to Los Angeles, and what were things like that first year?
Things were pretty bad, actually, for me. When I first arrived in town, I really didn't know whether I was going to stay or not. So as far as jobs like pouring in, that wasn't happening, so to speak. So by the time Days of Our Lives came around, I had one box of Kraft macaroni and cheese dinner in my closet.
That was all that was left, huh? No.
I was drinking tap water. It was hell.
Oh, tap water! Get her out of here.
This is L.A.
Yes.
Well, when I actually landed the job, my first day of week, my first day of work.
We'll cut that out of the final show,
Oh,
Kathy.
good.
Don't worry. We'll take care of you.
I'm so pleased.
Okay,
Somebody's got to take care of me. I basically drove to the studio on gas fumes and ran out of gas right outside the NBC studio gate. And sort of, I was late. Everything went wrong that day. And in order to get home, I sort of had to, beg for money from people, basically.
Yeah, well, could we have some volunteers to pass the hat here in the crowd for Kathy? You did Nighthawks, the movie. Let's just go through a lot of the quick movies you did. Nighthawks, Sylvester Stallone. What do you think of working with old Syl there?
Old Sly. Sly. Yeah, he was... Well, actually, it was very exciting because I'd just seen the Rocky, the first Rocky movie, and me and my girlfriend sat there and watched this huge, statuesque man with all these rippling muscles, and he was, of course, the most gorgeous man in the world. And when I saw him, he came up to about here on me. And plus, his body is in proportion to his size, so, I mean, he's not huge like he appears on screen. But he was incredibly good-looking, and that voice.
Well, in Hollywood,
not that you're not, of
well,
course,
thank you,
and your muscles well.
Yeah, and I will. I'll do.
Go on, take your shirt off.
I'll do whatever I have to do just to come up to your nose, too, if it'll work. Yeah. Another production.
This is getting out of hand.
Let's think of that in a moment. Yeah, we'll be back in a moment.
Oh, thank God.
You played a young Joan Collins in Hollywood Wives. Was this a painful experience for you? I mean, a young character, I guess, huh?
Actually, the miniseries was Sins that I played.
Oh, is it Sins? Okay.
Yeah, Hollywood Wives was Jackie Collins, her sister. Wrote
Okay,
that.
I get
I've
those
done
two.
the Collins family.
It was Zsa and the other one, and Jackie. And
you get all mixed up. Actually, in fact, it was a painful thing because my role consisted of her past, her as a young child, where she suffers through all these Nazi atrocities. Yeah. I get beaten up, I get raped, I get all this stuff. I get smacked around quite a bit.
Kind of like your first year in Hollywood.
It was after my first date, no.
Well, what do you do? I'm in from out of town. I don't know what's going on in town.
Yeah.
Where's the hot spot at night to go out here in big L.A.?
Oh, boy, the hot spot. Let's see. I don't know.
There she is, ladies and gentlemen. No.
What a Hollywood babe.
I wouldn't. People can ask me what's the hot spot in Kansas City, and I say, right over here by the furnace. Yeah.
Actually, this is the hot spot in L.A.
This is it. That's what we were looking for. Yeah, that's what we were looking for.
Thank God for cue cards. No.
Now, we've got a styrofoam cup. I'd like for you to bite it and sign it. If you want to try to put your whole name on there, I'll give you 2 cups. Okay? There she is.
I might be here through the next segment with this one.
Catherine Mary Stewart. There she is on Camp Midnite. on the USA Network. We're not doing the drawing yet, are we? Not yet. Okay. All right, network, so good. There's a new feature tonight that I want to add to the show. It's called It's All Relative. This is something I've done on the radio for years and years, and I'm really excited to be bringing it to television. What it is where we call or interview a relative of a famous person to try to get a little extra insight into this celebrity. Tonight, we're going to start off with our first relative. Is actually, let me get all the information so I know. She's the mother of the church mistress and Sam Kinison gal pal, Jessica Hahn, her mother. And so what I'd like to do is just, let's see what we can find out about her as we welcome now the mother of Jessica Hahn, Fawn Hahn. Come on out, Fawn. May I put that on you?
Do you think my boobies are too big for this dress? You know, ooh, ow. My boyfriend said to wear it, and I said no, and he said yes, and I said no, and he said yes, and I did.
Fawn, over this way, Fawn. Fawn, just a quick question here, dear. Your daughter, Jessica Hahn, certainly has come a long way from the old church secretary job, huh?
What? Yeah. I like lingerie.
I understand that Jessica Hahn has spent some time at the Playboy Mansion also. Have you ever visited her there?
Oh, yeah, okay. Boogie!
You know, on this old house, my brother encourages homeowners who are trying to make renovations to use flexible materials. Oftentimes you never know when something might go awry and major modifications are needed. Similarly, in comedy, oftentimes bits can go awry, and one never knows when exactly a bit might need to be changed or the hidden damage could be done.
Oh, I don't think that the damage is hidden. You always have me playing these bimbos who are always talking about their chest.
Right.
I know I'm the only woman on the show, but I find this tiresome.
All right, yeah. Caroline, all right. Well, what do you suggest, Tony?
Well, I'll tell you something, Caroline. I'm glad you said that, and I think I have a little bit of a way to solve this. If you two could just come on over here into the performance area for a moment.
Sure, Caroline.
Can you come on over here? And I
Uh-huh.
think we can find a solution.
Okay, Tony Vila, folks, from This Old Host, the show. Yeah.
Hi, Caroline. Hi, how are you? Listen, I just wanted to tell you that I was looking at the Jessica Hahn bit earlier, and I noticed it might use a contemporary restoration.
Well, what do you have in mind, then?
Well, you know, the Ayatollah Khomeini has been in the news recently, and I thought that maybe, we might provide some finishing by maybe doing a bit on the Ayatollah's mom. She's still alive, you know.
All right, I think that would be fun. It's topical and political and social.
Okay, it's fine with me.
Okay, well, let's do it then, huh?
Okay.
All righty.
Okay.
So what we're going to do is we're just going to take this.
Tony Vila,
this is
folks,
here.
from the show This Old Host. He's here tonight to kind of fix things up around the show, kind of a little tweaking here and there wherever it's needed.
And then
so
we'll take this right out of here.
The whole show.
And then we can just
you might want to
staple
plan
this
ahead
here.
for that. Okay.
And there, and then... Okay, now I'll tell you what, you've got your props here, and you've got the bit. You know something? Go for it, okay? Let's do it.
Well, guys, Mrs. Khomeini, is there a Mr. Khomeini?
Oh, no, Dick. I'm very sad to say that Mr. Khomeini dropped dead as a nail from a very tragic wiffle ball accident.
Well, oh, so it's, all right, so it's Widow Khomeini.
Oh, call me Ida, please.
Well, thank you, Ida. You know, your son has sure been in the news a lot lately.
Well, he has always been very motivated. We used to call him Ruchala on the spot. You know, I remember when the student council president of his junior high corrupted the entire school with the decadence of Western imperialism, and little Ruby, we call him Ruby, organized his entire ceramics class, and they ousted the imperialist dog and drove him into exile and shameful death. Of course, that was also the year he won the spelling bee.
Well, that's fantastic. I mean, I was hoping that while you're here, we might get a little insight into his thought process in general.
Well, sure, Mr. Khomeini and I brought him up with one very strict credo, and that was do unto others or have your followers do unto them for you. Of course, he always loved to read.
Did he? Well, what kind of books did he like to read?
Dick, I brought some of them with me just to show you.
All right.
Okay. Nancy Drew and the Great Satan. Curious George gets a tow missile. And this was his favorite, The Cat in the Hat bombs Iraq.
So he liked these books, huh?
Well, he did condemn the author of Pippi Longstocking to 1,000 lashes.
Oh, why, did Pippi blaspheme, or what?
No, she's just an annoying character.
Well, with all this reading, I'm sure he did great in school.
Oh, yes, and we always rewarded good grades. You know, he used to bring the entire Revolutionary Council over to our home after school for some Ritz mock apple pie and Knox blocks.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, I see. It's some positive reinforcement then.
Oh, yes. Well, talk about positive reinforcement. This is something I am so proud of. When little Rudy took his first hostage, we were so tickled we went out and had it bronzed.
What?
Look at this.
Well,
A mother's pride.
I guess, yes. Well, how did he react to this kind of upbringing? I mean, okay.
Dad. I like to think that his position as the maniacal leader of an outlaw nation speaks for itself. But you know something, let me show you my most cherished possession that he got for me when he was in 5th grade for Mother's Day.
What, pot holders? Refrigerator magnets? What,
Oh, yeah. He had to trade with that little Reagan boy, and he gave up a whole hostage, but that's the kind of loving son he is. You are applauding my baby. Oh, this is wonderful for keeping imperialist dogs from poofing on my lawn.
Mm-hmm.
And also, it's wonderful for storming embassies. Oh, my heavens to Betsy, that reminds me. Me and some of the other Islamic leaders' mothers are getting together to stone Salman Rushdie's mother unto death. So that sounds fun, and I've got to go.
Well, all right, there she goes. She's off. Yes. Ayatollah Khomeini's mother. Good golly, I know. I'm going to have to go into hiding on that one. Yeah, I think I'll be going into hiding after that one right there. Yes, I wonder if Salman has a little room in his basement he can rent out to me. Well, ladies and gentlemen, from Jody Maroney's Sausage Kingdom on the boardwalk in Venice, the food is here. Look at this wonderful stuff. We have all different kinds of sausages. We've got chicken, pork. They've got a number of hot Italian, mild Italian, all the kind of stuff you can get over there at Jody Maroney's Sausage Kingdom on the boardwalk in Venice. This is they skated this stuff over here. Well, that's wonderful. I tell you what, on onion rolls too. Why don't we just have a little organized, massive push up here to the table and have some food? All right? Yeah, there you go. Ladies first as usual. Yeah, come on up. Come on up, don't be shy. And while you're coming up, let me just find a camera that I can talk to and tell you about what we're going to do while you're listening here. We've got a video that we'd like to watch while we eat because, you know, watching people eat sausages can be arousing some point. So let's do this. Let's get on Robin Hitchcock and the Egyptians, and it's called Madonna of the Wasps. Robin Hitchcock and the Egyptians. Little dining music for you this evening on Camp Midnite. Hi, how are you? What's your name?
Stuart.
Stuart, where are you from?
San Diego.
All right. How's the food here from Jody Maroney's Sausage Kingdom?
It's pretty tasty.
All right, great. How you doing?
Pretty good.
Well, good. How you feel about the food, huh?
It's pretty tasty.
All right. Well, you got it. It's Jody Maroney's Sausage Kingdom on the boardwalk out in Venice. I'm going to go out there. You want to go with me, guys? A little later.
Sure.
See what's going on?
Right,
okay. Roller skates. I need those. Yeah. We'll be back in just a minute on Camp Midnite with the Midnight Run Sweepstakes. Welcome back to Camp Midnite, folks. Dick Wilson, your host, and it's time now for the Midnight Run Sweepstakes drawing. And it's good because I'm having a little trouble saying sweepstakes this evening, it seems like. And it's all in honor of the MCA Universal release, the Midnight Run, that's out in video stores right now. You can check that out. And we had people for the last couple of weeks send cards in to us from all over this wonderful country of ours. And they're going out to win a 2-week vacation to anywhere in the United States. Is this right? It is 2 weeks, right? Is it 1 week or 2 weeks? 1 week. 1 week, that's what I thought. Scooter Peach is paying for the 2nd week. A week's vacation anywhere, including Alaska and Hawaii. So let's get somebody up from the audience, make this fair and square to come up. Ma'am, step right up this way. Yeah. Welcome. What's your name?
Jennifer.
Jennifer, where are you from?
North Hollywood.
Have you had any experience in drawing things out of buckets before?
No.
All right. All of our entries are in the Camp Midnite trash can. And reach down there and dig down and just get you something out of there, okay? Pick you good. Thank you very much. Okay, all right. Well, our winner is Doug Tuber. Doug. That's something that sounds dirty but really isn't also. Thank you very much, okay? I'm going to try to cook Doug a call here. All right, well, let's call Doug Tuber up. He's in the 818 area code and tell him what the heck he's won here, all right? Doug is so confident that he didn't even put where he lives on this card. We're calling the Doug Tuber residence to award him the Midnight Run sweepstakes on Camp Midnite. We'll let it ring about 2 more times. If he doesn't answer, it means that Doug is having one heck of a time someplace else. All right, one more ring. Okay, I tell you what we'll do. We'll call him back here in the middle of commercials and let him know he's won the contest. All right, let's just put that right down there. Congratulations, Doug Tuber, for that. You know, have you ever wondered how to get into next to the celebrities, into those special fancy parties they have, and maybe even take some pictures and make big bucks? Well, a couple of guys have written a book that tell you just that. And I'd like to bring them out here and find out all the details. Please greet Brad Elterman and Stan Findell. Hi there. All right. How are you, Stan? Okay. Shoot the Stars, How to Become a Celebrity Photographer. Brad, you're the man, huh?
Yes, we wrote the book together, and Stan's name appears here somewhere in the small print.
I notice you have Stan with you. Now, Stan also helped you with the book, and what else?
Right, and I always travel with my attorney.
I'm his attorney. Photographers are abused at a very early age, and I wanted to make sure that his rights were protected here today.
Okay.
I have complaints and summonses for everyone in this briefcase if anything transpires that's out of the ordinary.
I understand. I'll try to be careful. Okay. I don't have any car I could drive you over with. Well, you know, some of these photographers who do this paparazzi type stuff get in trouble, don't they?
Absolutely. But you know, I tell you, Dick, I always tried to be the photographer that was on the in-crowd side of the stars. I was the guy inside the party. I was in the limo, in the private Learjet, traveling with the celebrities. And the other type are the ones I call the paparazzi or the dog pack. And they're the ones who are outside looking in. And you really have to just decide very early in your career which approach you want to do. And I wanted to be the guy on the inside.
How do you get the invites? How do you get into these things?
Oh, well, you have to read the book, number one. But number two is that really you have to, it took a lot of time and effort on my part just as far as trying to meet people within the industry. And I started as a fan taking photos at the Forum and at all these different concerts, and I would send my pictures into magazines, and eventually my photos were published, and I had a byline, and you know, it was like a little snowball going down the mountain. It got into a huge thing.
Well, you've brought some photos tonight that are in the book. Let's show some of these so people can kind of see what type of activity you're involved in. Any certain order on these? Let me just lay this down. What do you want, show them to one? Okay.
Okay.
One means just like one person somewhere. What is this right here? Let's take a look at this picture right here. Look at this, folks. That looks like Madonna, right?
Absolutely.
Where was this taken?
This was taken at the American Music Awards.
Yeah.
Here in Los Angeles. And, you know, I wanted to get a different shot. I didn't want her just standing there holding a trophy. So I wanted a different, unique angle, and I wanted to get all the dog pack paparazzi in there.
Yeah, let me see that real quick, because I noticed all the rest of the photographers are out here. Now, pull back just a little bit, and you notice that you have the side of Madonna right over here. See, you've got this part right here, so that was an important thing. That sold that one. All right, look at this one. Look at this motley crew here. Huh?
Right. This. Everybody remembers Brooke Shields, and this is Brooke Shields and Gene Simmons. It's two celebrities together, which is something that all the magazines want. They want to see, you know, a pop star with a motion picture celebrity. And this photo was sold all over the world. And
this was Brooke's one night out without her mom, wasn't it?
No, her mother was there somewhere, but somewhere in the wings.
What do you get for a photo like this? How much money can you make off these things?
Okay, to answer that question.
I'm going to object to that question. I feel it goes into...
Okay, all right, we'll get back to that one.
No.
How about this one?
It's, this is Ronnie Wood and Joni Mitchell, and this was taken at an art gallery opening here in, locally in Los Angeles, and I didn't need an invitation, I didn't need a press credential, it was open to the public, and I just walked in and took the photos, and I ran in People magazine and ran all over the world.
What is the photo that has made you the most money? Do we have that here?
Yeah,
I think
it's in there.
Didn't I see it? Oh.
Okay.
This is the one. I know you can't mention figures, but
well, I'm going to mention it anyhow.
How much?
But this is about $5,000.
$5,000 for this shot.
And this photo ran all over the world. Now,
How'd you get this one?
Well, I was at a concert for the Rolling Stones, and you know, there's a million pictures of Mick Jagger singing into a microphone. Boring, right? So I saw Ryan and Farrah together backstage, and this is the first time that they were seen together. And I asked him, I went up and I said, look, Ryan, can we do a photo? Can I do a shot of you? I'd really appreciate it. He says, you know, you're one of the few photographers that asked me, you're going to get it. And I did the photo of the whole family together, and it sold all over the world, over and over and over. It's still selling today.
It's a great shot.
Thank you.
Looks real good. This was, they're real happy here, aren't they?
Yeah, they're happy to see me.
They sure are. We've only got a short amount of time left. You've got so many stories, but what would you say is, I had this question now. You're kind of a handsome Hollywood-type looking guy, you know. Let's say I was 450 pounds and couldn't keep my belt on straight. Could I get into these celebrity parties and take pictures?
Good looks certainly do help.
Yeah.
Let me tell you. But anybody can do it. Anybody can really do it. It just takes a certain eye and a lot of footwork.
Let me show this book one more time, okay? There it is right there. There's how to learn everything. The lawyer agrees we can show the book one more time.
Stan's name
well,
is
I wanted to point out the fine print my name was in. I negotiated this very poorly.
Stan's down there also. Guys, I've got
one shot here. Yes.
Uh-oh. I've got a couple of cups I'd like for you to sign, if you would, and write those off, and we'll look forward to seeing what other pictures you take here in the future, okay?
Fantastic.
There they are, Brad Elderman and Stan Crandell on Camp Midnite. On the USA Network. Well, congratulations, Doug Tuber again. You won the Midnight Run Sweepstakes, a week trip to go anywhere in the United States. And guys, take a couple of us along. We'd love to go with you on that, Doug. Congratulations. My next guest has a very interesting topic. And ladies, when you're choosing a man, perhaps you're looking in the wrong place. Next time, I want you to peek into his palms, because in his palms holds the secrets and the inner desires of this man you're wanting to meet. So scrub up, everybody, because here comes the lady who knows all about it. Please welcome Yvette Grady. How are you? I've never got to do this. Let me escort you around to the front here. You know, I appreciate doing this. Let's just escort you here, and you may sit right here, and there you go. Okay.
Right.
That was fun. We should start doing that. How are you, Yvette?
Good.
Well, what a great topic. I mean, there's a lot of things to cover, and I want to get right into it. You've got a book here called Hand-Picked Men. Now, what do we learn in this book?
Well, we learn how to choose a man by looking at his hand. I mean, it takes a little bit of the sport out of it, but things work out a lot better and a lot easier if you have a pretty good idea of what you're looking for in the first place. For instance, if you want to meet a man who's an adventurous sort of chap, you can turn to the Mr. Adventurer section, or if you want a money spinner, Mr. Marriage Material. All these different types of information will point you in the right direction for the man you're looking for.
Okay, well, let's explain a couple of things.
It separates the men from the boys, basically.
Does it?
Which is always fun.
I'm wondering, how do you actually ask a man to look at his palms while you're at the bar or whatever? Is there a nice way to do that?
Yes, I think there's a very polite way of doing it. I think a woman can always weave the subject around to hobbies. And naturally, the man will say, well, what sort of hobbies are you interested in? And she'll say, well, palmistry. And whether a man believes in palmistry or not, he will invariably say, well, have a look at my hand. I don't believe it, but have a look at my hand.
All right. Well, look, you've brought some things here. What do we need to show to explain what's going on here a little bit better?
Well, first of all, this is just a basic hand type. But each section of the hand means a different thing. For instance, what we call the Jupiter finger or the index finger is the finger of leadership, and depending on the length of the finger, it will give a woman an indication as to whether a man is a natural leader or not. In other words, if this finger is longer than the ring finger here. Okay?
Okay, all right.
I might add here, women, ladies, that most men actually have shorter fingers and most women have longer ring fingers, which means we actually wear the pants. Not really. But it is true, though. I don't know why that is, but that is actually correct. The center finger is the finger of lessons. If the finger is particularly long, then you know that the man is perhaps not melancholy, but very, very serious in his approach to life. Ring finger, if it's long, he's usually into acting, writing. If it's very, very long, you know that he's perhaps a gambler, and he could gamble on you as well. Now, the next one is Mercury, which is the finger of science or the finger of communication. All good writers should have a fairly long Mercury finger. Now, again, another hint for a writer is what we call the headline, which comes down here. If it branches, it's called the writer's fork. So there are various signs on the hand that will indicate to a woman the type of man, including the shapes of hands as well.
Well, I'll tell you, Yvette, you know, these are kind of cold and dry, these things. Let's get a real human being up here. Do we have a volunteer from the audience, a guy to come up here that we could read your palm? Yeah, come on up, come on up. And Yvette, here's a microphone you can use for him. Have a seat there. Yeah.
Hi.
Hello.
So what's your name?
Skip Torvinen.
Skip, have you ever had your hand read before?
No.
Well, here we go. Let's have a look.
Okay. All right. Nope. There we go.
All right.
All right.
Now, Skip has it has a round palm. I'm going to do this very, very quickly. A roundish palm, which means he has a lot of fire, a lot of drive. Right. Now, he also has what we call the Mount of Venus here, which is fairly swollen. Now, a woman, if she wants to know whether she's...
It's throbbing.
Right. If a woman wants to know if she's sexually compatible with the man that she's chosen, she must compare the Mount of Venus here with his. Now, if they have the same kind of rising, it means that they're sexually compatible. But if the man is very...
Well, it appears as though the Yvette Grady interview is loaded with the right materials, giving it a strong foundation in the framework of the show. You know, audience participation is to a talk show what 6 inches of fiberglass insulation is to a converted attic. However, I've been watching this segment closely, and I've noticed a serious problem with one of the camera shots. Everything seems to be clear here on the floor. Let's go on up to the booth to see if we can find the root of the problem. Let's do it. Come on. Okay. Up here. You might want to look into widening this. Okay. Excuse me. Well, this is where it all happens, sort of where the skeleton framework of the show happens. Kind of like a big fuse box, huh? Hi, this is Bob, our associate director, Brad, our director, and Frank, our technical director. And excuse me, Brad, I wanted to ask you a question. Hi, I'm Tony Vila. I just want to ask you a question. I wanted you to take a look here. I think there's a problem with the camera, too, in the Yvette Grady interview. I think there's a problem with the focus. You might want to call up the cameraman and see if he can focus that, if he can.
3, check your shots.
Can you do that, please?
3. Check your focus.
Turn your hand around. The line that comes up here, and the headline is just here, and it comes.
Okay. Well, everything seems to be okay up here in the booth. Let's go back to the interview and see how Dick ends it by asking Yvette to bite and sign the cup.
Real slow, Bill. Then you dissolve through.
Flexible thumb, which means you have a fairly flexible personality. If the thumb were very stiff, it would mean that the man is very inflexible. Once he's made up his mind, it's very, very hard to budge him. I can see a man playing with you somewhere.
Really? Yes. Well,
He's
yeah. Look at your
flexible,
hands. Well, Yvette, that's all the time we have, and I hope you know more about your life now. Yes. All right. Yvette Grady, would you sign and bite one of our cups for us? We'd love to have you autograph it and just put your dental impression in the side there. All right? Sure. That way we'll always know you. Yvette Grady, folks, on Camp Midnite. Welcome back to Camp Midnite. You know, we had these guys on in a video last week. We loved them so much we invited them to come in personal and really have a great time live here in the studio with us. Ladies and gentlemen, here I'm holding their CD, and also they have a comic book. This is incredible. They're performing their new single Agent 00 Soul, LA's favorite reggae rock band, the Untouchables.
Reputation of being once was this fella who would die for the rock and roll. He couldn't get himself together. I guess he didn't have no kind of trouble. So the office called me up, put me on the case right away. And now he's a DJ on a radio show that everybody knows. 00 Soul. 00 Soul. Agent 00 Soul, baby. 00 Soul.
I'm an action-packed thriller, a 00 killer, plus I got the hottest suits. There are none chiller. Don't call me big-headed or even conceited when I tell you 00 can't be defeated. I'm 00 Soul at the microphone stand, chanting on my lyrics to the UT band. You know that I'm the beat me, I must confess, such a 00% gets even less.
I did rock and roll music. I can do the twine and the jerk. Sports strictly continental suits with high collar shirt. I've got this reputation of being gentle but bold. That's why they call me Agent 00 Soul. 00 Soul. 00 Soul. Agent 00 Soul, baby. 00 Soul. 00 Soul. 00 Soul. Agent 00 Soul, baby. 00 Soul. 00 Soul.
Thank you, thank you. Thanks a lot.
Oh! Ah! All right, yeah! Looking good. Yeah, okay. Woo! Untouchables. Agent 00 Soul. Yeah. Man, my desk hasn't moved like that since we've been on the air here. Yeah. Clyde Grimes, how you doing? Welcome to Camp Midnite.
Thank you very much. We're glad to be here.
Do the honor for us. Introduce this great group you got.
Okay,
Let's start
over
over
on the
keyboard.
far left there, we have Tony Brewster on keyboards. Derek D on bass, Breakfield. David Ramsey on drums. The Mr. EQ, Jerry Miller, 00 himself.
All right.
My name is Clyde. Christopher William on the bone. And my brother Marty Grimes on trumpet.
All right, great stuff. Well, that song was done. What, Edwin starred in that song?
Yeah, Edwin started that. Yeah, 1962.
Wow. Well, what's happening with you guys these days?
Well, we just got a new album out called Agent 00 Soul. Yeah. This is a title track. We have several mixes on it, and we're gearing up for a tour in the States, and then go back over to Europe.
What part of Europe do you like to play over there? What's good for you?
Oh, God. Germany. Everywhere.
Germany!
Germany. France.
You've done some soundtracks, haven't you? You've been on some soundtracks.
Yes, we have.
What was it?
We've done a movie called The Party Animal.
Yeah.
We also did a current movie called No Man's Land with Charlie Sheen and Repo Man. We did Repo Man.
Yeah. And
Under the Boardwalk, which will be out in the summer.
How about On Camera? You been on camera in any of those movies?
Maybe.
Which ones, huh? So what's coming up now as far as, where do you want to be in about 4 or 5 years? Huh?
Oh, God. Hawaii, Tahiti. Jamaica. Try it, man.
Didn't you guys... You've got to teach me that step that you did there in the middle of that song. What was that? That was just the... I know you probably did it without even thinking about it.
Actually, Jerry probably is better.
Okay, could you show me just something here? Just give me a... Okay.
There you go.
Okay. Yeah. All right. I'm hurting after that one. I'm hurting, guys. Hey, weren't you in on the MTV a long time ago with some stuff that going on there right in the early days?
Sure.
Yeah.
MTV played our first video, For Yourself, which won 1980 for a Billboard Award.
Yeah, right after they got started.
Yeah. So, and they're taking on a video now, but we'd rather be on this station right here.
Hey, all right. Yeah. I'd love to have that suit sometime. You know, I could take that back to Kansas City, Missouri, and they wouldn't know what to say to me.
Hey, well, next time we go out and party.
All right. There you go. Hey, well, thanks for being on. We've played the video. We've had you on, and I have not had any cash at all from this group. So, you know, don't worry about that. All right, here we are. Untouchables on Camp Midnite. On the USA Network. Boy, what a great show we've had. Let me just look back over this for just a moment and thank tonight's guest, Dick Sargent. Joe Nipote, Catherine Mary Stewart, also Brad Elterman and Stan Findell, Yvette Grady, who did the Crazy Palm thing, and the Untouchables, Agent 00 Soul on Twist Records, if you're looking for that. Of course, our regulars, Caroline Schlitt and also Tony Forkish. Next week's guest, we've got from L.A. Law coming in, Larry Clark, also comic Jan Karam. Who the heck is Larry Clark? Dick Clark's brother. Okay, I'm sorry. Larry Drake will be with us. We've also got Jan Karam. Susan Normandy is coming back from the LA Zoo, and also a model, Dale Haddon, will be with us, and Willie Dixon, the blues. Yeah. The blues great. Yeah. I'd also like to thank, he's on the phone, Tony Vila, from this old host of the show.
You bet.
And,
let's do it. Okay.
Tony? Well, Tony, thanks for being on, you know.
Oh, it's my pleasure. I'll tell you, it seems though everything is in working order here. Going over the list, comedy bits are working well. They're placed securely in the framework. We painted the green room with a no-stick latex, completely revamped the wiring and to the control booth so the pictures are clearer and sharper, and your introductions and interviews are beginning to give the show a real comfortable environment. I'll tell you, I'm going to be watching the ratings. I'll be back in, say, 5 to 10 years to check the show for any structural damage.
Hold on, I thought you were coming back next week to rough out a few more edges on it.
Oh, I want to tell you, the show is in great shape, Dick. You don't have to worry about anything. But I just got a call from Ted Kennedy there, and you know there's some problems in the new administration. And I'm going to head on east for this old House of Representatives.
There he goes, ladies and gentlemen, Tony Vila from this old host. Well, I'm glad I checked that newspaper ad out there 13 weeks ago, because I think this old fixer-upper of a show is ready to fly. We'll look forward to seeing you next week right here on USA's Camp Midnite.